All right, guys. Full will come to you with a really quick video, a really quick commentary. You know, I'm one of the guys who like, if someone's doing something correct and is having very effective results in their life, I'm one of the dudes to take what they're doing and filter it into my life in order to have the same results, if not greater, especially when that person practices the same faith as myself, right? Um, so one thing I realized, and this is just from being, a man and just being a man who holds his square, is on the square. You know, I one of the things that my parents taught me, and this has to do with pulaku. And one thing is about pulaku is in pulaku you don't compromise your values. You don't compromise yourself. You don't do things that are going to be like counterproductive to you living a happy, peaceful, relaxed life. So, in doing that, in and basically going against the grain, since pretty much everything that Pulaku stands for is pretty much against the grain of today's society that we live in today. Now, one of the lessons that I am learning more and more each day is that when you starve a woman of validation, when you ignore a woman, they don't know what to do. They go crazy. Like their brain just frizzles out. You know what I mean? Like their brain just like they're like, man, what's with this guy? Like this guy ain't like all up on me. This guy ain't doing like the right thing. Like he's not acknowledging me. He's being disrespectful to me by not acknowledging my presence, this, that, and the other. And when you find out, when you do that, they get they they lose themselves really. It's crazy because you know um if I'm around women sometimes, especially Western women, my responses are like usually one word responses, like yes, like no, like maybe, like I don't know. Like those are my responses towards them. And these responses have nothing to do with me being nervous around them or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that at all. Nothing of that sort. It's simply I don't want to validate them and I don't want to like give them attention. I just don't want to do that. I don't see any, I know this is going to sound very bad, but I really don't see any really redeeming values in Western women or in Western thinking women, be it they be from my side of the continent of Africa, or be it they be in the Caribbean as well. You know, so one example, and this example has helped me in life and definitely in my boxing. Like besides Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather and a couple of other greats, um, Khabib Nurmagomedov, his whole demeanor and his whole way of being, has rubbed off on me very much. Here's a traditional Dagestani guy who, you know, many people will argue his stand-up game wasn't good, but he was a very good wrestler. He would pretty much, in a way, systematically break you down through his wrestling, and eventually you would pretty much succumb to one of his submission moves, right? So the thing that really impressed me though is not only his fighting ability and not only his ability to stay calm in the eye of the storm, especially when Conor McGregor and his racist ass was saying all types of things, insulting his religion and things like that. And in insulting his religion, he's insulting my religion as well. You know what I mean? So may Allah continue to curse Conor McGregor. You know, to be honest, I don't think he's recovered from that beating ever since, you know. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But what really impressed me is what Khabib I can't even say his name right, but you know what I mean, Khabib. I'm just going to call him Khabib. You know, how he interacted with women. Because here's the thing. If you interact with women in a certain way, right, especially on that stage, then you can get into a lot of trouble. There's a chance you may get into trouble, okay? But let's see what he says and look at how he interacts with women and the response of women showing that they need to be validated, you know, that they need to be acknowledged, that they need to be called, oh, you're so pretty, or oh, you're this, oh, you're that. And that even in a professional environment, they can't stand when they're not validated and when they're basically not acknowledged like other men acknowledge them. But let's go into one thing real quick. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. See. Okay, here we go, right here. Let's.
Car shopping and a meeting.
Hey, how do I know this car is a great deal?
Mary, the car gurus takes the guesswork out. We factor in.
Знаете, давайте вот рингерс. Я никого не хочу обидеть, но это самые ненужные люди в единоборствах.
So what happened is that Khabib, he said that you know, he didn't want to offend anybody, but he said ring girls have the most useless function in, you know, in prize fighting sports, you know, in combat sports. He says ring girls have a useless function. And you know, I have to agree with him. You know, ring girls, for all we can say, are just eye candy at the end of the day. Like, I mean, they don't really serve any other function but to be eye candy. Like, that's just pretty much it, you know.
В единоборствах. Какую функцию они носят? Вот у меня вопрос. Ну, включите на экран, что второй раунд идет.
And it's true. You can look at the rounds on the screen. You know, I mean, pretty much, like, people, like, in being at boxing matches and stuff like that, and especially being like front row boxing matches, people aren't like really checking for ring girls. Like, they're looking at the screen to see if by chance they're gonna be like spotted in the audience, like, and that they're gonna be on TV. You know, like that. That's pretty much what what they're looking at. You know.
Все люди разбирают, что люди туда приходят, они там ходят, я не знаю. Это мое личное мнение. Я не хочу тебе ее навязать, Камила. Я считаю, что у тебя свое мнение есть.
Сейчас
насчет каких-то моментов.
Полемику оставим.
Не, ну просто у меня такое, но это самые ненужные люди в единоборствах. Ну что, какую функцию, как они спорт развивают? Или они людям помогают, что они идет второй раунд? Что они...
Yeah, I mean, and he's right. I mean, ring girls don't develop the sport. You know, like, I mean, I know they've been around for a long time, but at the end of the day, like, you know, unfortunately, some of the combat athletes have gotten in trouble because of ring girls and, you know, their closeness to the athlete, you know. And I'm not saying that that ring girl is at fault for that, you know, that athlete making an approach or making a move. However, that could have been prevented if, you know, you just not have ring girls at all.
Делают. Тоже мне ответьте, а там дальше уже...
Так просто исторически сложилось.
Кристин, я однажды отвечу на историю. Ну, в истории есть много моментов, которые неправильно тоже были. Мы зачем читаем историю? Чтобы в будущем не совершать ошибки тех, которые были до нас. Так что, если мы смотрим историю, вот история говорит, что они вообще не нужные люди. Это мое личное мнение.
Я однажды отвечу на этот вопрос, но мне сначала надо с Даной Уайтом посоветоваться.
Ну, Дана Уайт, это уже, Дана, это другая история. Может, ему нравится это, может, и тебе нравится. Но меня же не
And that's another thing. At least he's his own man too. You know, he said, you know, Dana White maybe likes it, and maybe you guys do too. But my name is not Dana. My name is Khabib. And yeah, and that's the same thing with me. Like, I'm just gonna name some things. Like, I'm not gonna name any. Like, I'm not gonna name any certain like Instagram users. I'm not gonna name any certain YouTube channels, but you know, maybe these channels like to simp, maybe these channels like to put Western women on a pedestal. I mean, maybe these channels like to think of themselves as goddesses and things like that. But I'm an individual person, you know. And for the most part, I'm a nonconformist, you know, like, and you know, another thing too, I don't mind being disliked by many people. Like, I mean, I really don't care if like 1 million people dislike me. You know, I don't care, you know. So people like who run across me in different different YouTube channel holders, like maybe live streams, and I'm in the chat section. Like, I mean, I don't care if you dislike me. You know, I really don't give a crap, because for one, you never met me, and you probably never will meet me. And for number two, what I'm doing does not affect you. And if you're offended by what I'm saying and doing, then maybe you need to check yourself.
зовут, и меня не Хабиб зовут. Но так как я уже в этой теме, мы уже сказали, что вот этого всего не будет присутствовать, правильно же, да? Если я же не прихожу со своим законом к вам, и вы тоже к нам не приходите. Но раз мы проводим вместе турнир, я думаю, что нужно оценивать. Смотри, если есть люди, которые приходят тут посмотреть на таких людей, то это вам точно не 17 сентября, вам туда не надо идти. Но если вы хотите прийти посмотреть, как бьется один из лучших атлетов мира, да, 17 сентября у вас есть такое место, это ЦСКА-арена. Но точно так же есть в Москве же есть заведение, куда вы можете зайти, заплатили деньги и сходите, смотрите вот на это все. Правильно же, да? Ну, например, я сижу с отцом. У каждого человека есть свои предпочтения, своя культура, свои ценности там, и так далее. Я прохожу на файтнайт, сижу с отцом, примерно.
He said, for example, I sit with my father. Every person has his own preferences, the culture, and the values. I come to fight night, sit with my father. And I just want to highlight that too. Like, you can't fault me for having cultural things that you lack. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fault me for having cultural norms that, like, you lack. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to mention the channel holders who come to this page and you know, leave little comments and stuff like that. You know, I don't even want to give their initials out. I'm not gonna even give their initials. They're not even worth it. But like, yeah, you can't like fault me for having different culture. And you also can't fault me for your expectations of me that I don't give a rat's ass about. You know, like, so you know what Khabib is saying is very true. You know, throughout the UFC, he's held his own. And you know, like unfortunately, it sucks to say it, but he was pretty like not liked by other UFC fighters because of how he lived his life. You know, how he led his life. And so yeah, man.
Предпочтения, своя культура, свои ценности там и так далее. Я прохожу на Fight Night, сижу с отцом, пример, да, и вот эти люди проходят и показывают людям, что вот второй раунд идет, но никто не смотрит на эти таблички. И вот мне неудобно с отцом сидеть. Я не против всего вот этого. Если вы делаете...
And he said, I am not against it. If you want, you can do it, but don't impose it to me. Do it aside. There are the designated places for it. So yeah, you know, that goes for everything. You know, that goes for every single thing. Like, for example, like, don't impose Pan-Africanism on me. I don't follow that ideology. Like, you can't impose Pan-Africanism on me. Like, you can't impose, like, being conscious on me. You can't impose being like simping on me. You can't impose me calling a woman queen or goddess. You can't impose these things on me. You know? Like, you can do it amongst each other, but, you know, like, I'm not going to do it. You can't impose me choosing not to, like, date or mess with any single mothers. You can't impose these things on me. You know? I do what I want. And I do what Allah would be pleased with. You know? And Allah has a way of showing you he's displeased if you are doing something contradicting to what he wants you to do.
Делайте, но сюда не навязывайте, идите вон там в стороне, есть определенные отведенные места для этого. Я считаю, что это все смешивать не надо. Это мое личное мнение. Мы здесь развиваем спорт в первую очередь. Да, элементы шоу тоже должны присутствовать. Люди хотят прийти и посмотреть, им всем интересно. Но вот это все смешивать.
However hard life was, it got harder.
So, a little bit of a story time.
Okay, so it seems like this is a, I guess she was a fighter, a UFC fighter. And I guess she encountered Khabib. And yeah, this is her story of the encounter.
Back in 2016, World Series of Fighting came to Kansas City. So one of our guys, Bobby Cooper, fought in the card, and I was cornering him. And he was fighting a...
Yeah, I don't know why, like, you would, no disrespect to a woman, but, like, the only coach that I knew was a good woman coach to have in your corner in boxing was Ann Wolfe. You know, she was probably the best.
Guy that was under Khabib Nurmagomedov, and so Khabib was there cornering him with his team. And then, so normally after the fight finishes, the corner goes in, we shake each other's hands, we shake the fighter's hands. So I shook the opposing fighter, shook two of the coach's hands, but Khabib just completely ignored me. And at the time, I feel like a horrible person. At the time, I did not know that he was Muslim. So I just want to put that out there.
So, you know, one thing that these women do is, like, because, like, for the most part, women lead with emotion and then logic comes second after emotion. You may be doing something out of a sign of respect for her, but she may take it as you disrespecting her or disregarding her. You know what I mean? Like, so this is not like anything new. You know, this is just how they are for the most part. And, you know, this is how she was in regards to Khabib.
I didn't know his Muslim, and he just completely ignored me. So I'm like standing there while they're announcing the winner. I was like, wow, like, did I do something? Did I say something? Like, I don't think I didn't say anything to him, so it couldn't be I said something. Like, he really just doesn't like me. Okay, this is weird. So they announced the winner. His guy won, our guy lost. So we were walking out the cage, and then we shook everyone's hand again. I shook the coach's hand, and I went up to Khabib, and like I was like, I'm just gonna shake his hand. Like I'm just gonna go up to him. So I went up to him.
So it does get to the point where if you, like, for example, don't validate a woman, she'll take it into her own hands to make sure you notice her, or you do something like to notice her. I'll give you an example that happened like a couple of days ago. I was in the coffee shop doing some work on my laptop, and I saw, you know how someone's staring at you or someone's looking at you, you can kind of just tell. So, I saw someone looking at me, I saw someone like looking at me, this female. So I just looked and then looked away and then went back to work. I went back to doing my work. When I was doing my work and stuff, I felt her looking at me, but I didn't look back at her. I just stayed in the computer. So what happened was, many times she would like, in my working space, she would just like kind of go around there and try to like talk loud kind of like conversate for me to hear her conversation about like her hot girl summers and stuff like that, thinking that that's gonna like be something I'm gonna like, when it's a matter of fact it's gonna be the complete opposite of that. And so that persisted on for a little bit, and then yeah, man, and while she was doing that, she just kept on looking at me, and I just like, I just continue to work, and on top of that, I guess a guy kind of caught on, another guy, and he approached her about like what she was talking about and stuff like that, and she just kind of brushed him off.
His hand, like I'm just gonna go up to him. So I went up to him, I just grabbed his hand and shook it, and he looked at me like I had done the worst thing that I could ever do on the face of the earth. I was like, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, wow, he really doesn't like me. This is so weird. Okay. And I walked out, and then...
And keep that in mind too. I'm gonna let you guys know something. Women are pretty much used to dudes treating them like, for example, women are used to dudes kissing up to them. Women are used to dudes like complimenting them and doing all these kind of things. Women are used to it, and even if they're kind of like not looking that good, they're still used to it. A woman by default is going to receive more compliments than a dude does, on the physical aspect. So they're used to it. So when they don't get it, and when they don't get that validation, they short circuit,
Later on, someone told me that he was Muslim, and that it was like a respect thing, that they didn't shake other women's hands.
In Islam too, there's like difference of opinion about shaking hands. So, he just follows one opinion which says he shouldn't shake a woman's hand.
And oh my God, as soon as I found that out, I felt like the worst person, like, on earth. I was like, oh my God, I feel like a horrible person. I just did what you don't do, and I felt so bad. And I remember, like, one of my friends a couple years later went and trained at AKA with DC and with Khabib, and he mentioned it to Khabib. He's like, no, like I remember, like tell her it wasn't I wasn't meant to be rude. Like it was a respect thing, and like tell her not to worry about it and all that kind of stuff. But like I swear to God, like so I'm glad that he's okay with it. But still to this day, I feel like the worst fucking person for doing that. But
So you see, like, even Khabib deciding not to, like, acknowledge her or anything like that or validate her, you see, the ending effects of that happening, you know what I mean? And, it compelled her to even go up to Khabib himself, you know what I mean? And he kind of was like, what the hell is this woman on, probably, but we probably had to be there to see his reaction, right? So last but not least, I want to do one more on him and then keep it moving.
All right, keep going. Yeah, can I say it right?
Yeah, right.
All right, you're awesome. Those are, which one?
From my understanding, you
Or do you want that one? Okay, you can have that one.
Without this bullshit.
from my
I want,
Khabib, we're only 2 days away from
I want you to have that.
has been thrown around, but from my interim has been thrown around, but from my understanding, you and Tony are kind of fighting for the lightweight title. Eyes on the game, and I'm here with Khabib. We're only 2 days away from arguably the biggest fight of your life. For
The thing is, and this is something that we can learn, that I think we should all learn, is that, like, to have this kind of discipline, to not even look into her eyes, that's a different animal, and that's what you need to have, and it's not out of fear. Like, you're not doing it out of fear. You're just pretty much doing it out of like, you just don't want to acknowledge her, right?
the UFC, I know the term interim has been thrown around, but from my understanding, you and Tony are kind of fighting for the lightweight title. So what does that title mean to you if you win?
For me, it's a real title, because I have tough opponent, 9 win streak, I have 8 win streak, and for me, is this everything. I think this is a real title.
Now, Tony has been talking and saying that he believes your record is padded and that you're a one-trick pony. I mean, what do you think about his comments regarding that?
I don't know. I think he's just talking. He have to say something because, I think he just talking about this. I don't understand what you're talking about, but I feel confident about my skills, my record, my everything. That's why I fight for the title. If I have some fake record, why I'm here?
Now, Conor McGregor's coach today, he did say that he believes that you will win against Tony this.
Now, I want you to notice that he's just keeping it brief and he's just keeping it concise, and that's the best way to be when it comes to dealing with women. You can learn from that. Just keep it brief, keep it concise, and then keep it moving.
And that Conor will fight you next. Do you actually think that Conor will come back and defend his title this year, despite kind of everything going on regarding the Mayweather situation?
I don't know. I don't think about him.
Cornering Umlatov, Gamzatov to those victories you were at.
And even here, he's kind of like, okay, I have to be in this right now. Like, I'm here, but I really don't want to be here,
Rebecca coming up. I mean, how do you think he's going to get on tonight?
No, I'm very happy about this. I cornered 3 Dagestan guys. Everybody win. Now it's turn to Abu Bakr. I think he's ready. He's very good shape. Now he much better training than last fight, and we hope we're gonna knock this guy out.
And look, he obviously on 0 points has to get the win to make it to the playoffs. What's he done differently?
It's very important fight for him because if you wanna compete in playoff, you have to finish opponent, and that's why it's a little bit hard for about mental. But he's ready. And we have planned second round finishing.
Okay, and obviously got to ask you about your own training camp ready for Conor McGregor. How's it going? How are you feeling?
I feel great. I keep training here. Like even I'm here, I training 2 times in day, and I'm very excited about this. And we have like 8 weeks before fight, and I'm ready. I'm born ready. I'm born ready, and it's gonna be very good, inshallah.
Вас здесь на тренировке.
Let's see. So you see that Khabib with women, he just was a different animal, and you can take and learn from like how he is with women. You can take and you can basically take from how he is with his with women, and so that's good. That's the thing. Let me see something real quick.
Вы уже сказали, что Ring Girls будут отсутствовать, что хайп и раскачка в том понимании, в котором мы это знаем, там Исмаилов, Минеев тоже будет отсутствовать.
Ну, смотрите, давайте вот Ring Girls. Я никого не хочу обидеть, но это самые ненужные люди.
We already saw this one. Okay. Okay, let me see real quick. I'll probably end it soon. Just wanted to see if there's any more videos with it. Okay, here we go.
You could skip this ad, but don't skip the part that can help you get the job done. At Grainger, we're here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry. Call, click.
Alhamdulillah. I know you got this. You don't like this. Alhamdulillah. Tomorrow night.
A lot of things, a lot of good things, and this one is people gonna like this, because everybody have their own views on something. Like people, when I say something, they don't agree with this, but who cares? I don't care, because I know I am right in my mind. Because everybody have their own views on something.
And the thing is, you can say you're right on something, like if you see the results, like if you see the effects of that thing you're talking about. Like, for example, like if you talk about like the Western woman and the chaos and the confusion and the mischief she's causing, you see what's going on outside and you see that it's really true. You know what I mean? You talk about like these would-be dating gurus and these like so-called Pan-Africanists, and what you're saying is true because you're seeing it for yourself. So you can't say, that I'm right about what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I'll be the one to say it right now. I know I'm right about what I'm saying. And I would say that because I think before I talk, I would say that probably about 90% of what I say on my videos is accurate and correct.
Like for example, like a couple months ago, someone asked me about, I have promotion, I have my own promotion, Eagle Fighting Championship, and someone asked about why there's no ring girls there. I say because I think it's no reason. It's my opinion, and some people don't agree with this, but who cares? I don't care because I have my opinion. So that's why. And
yeah, so that's all I wanted to really get at. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just wanted to get at that. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'll do one more.
Assalamu alaikum, Team Khabib fans.
He's gonna make you bend the knee. So Henry, I don't think you should take the fight.
So you see, he's more concerned with taking the picture with the dudes than the women, right? So the thing is, he's like, take a picture with me with this guy, because like him being conservative, him just taking a picture with the women wouldn't be a good look. You know what I mean? So he said one more with them again to drive the point home to the women, like, yo, I don't want to take a picture with you. Sorry, it's not going down like that.
By the way, Henry, you won a gold medal in the Olympics. How hard is it to win a gold medal?
You see the girls are confused and they're like, oh, like what just happened? Like, oh, he just brushed us off,
Enjoyed.
So I like that, I like that. I like to do that. So if it's anything I want y'all to get from this commentary, especially my fellow African brothers, and also my Caribbean brothers as well, just ignore Western women, and if your intentions are pure, I think Allah, regardless if you're adhere to Islam or not, I think Allah will put someone in your life that will basically fulfill what you're looking for. If your intentions are pure, if you have pure intentions. If you don't have pure intentions, then prepare for all hell to break loose. You know what I mean? But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. The one thing I want you to get out of this commentary is that women, in essence, can't really survive without validation or attention. But anyhow, man, that's all I got. Unless she's a traditional woman. That's it. Unless she's a traditional, quiet, modest, still bashful, still cheerful woman, Yeah. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Fula signing out. Njadam.